The most important thing in football is space. When you've got the ball, you want to maximise the space that you've got. When your opponent's got the ball and you're defending, you want to minimise the space your opponent's got. That is the main concept in football. Everything else, all tactics, everything is based around that. You can look at the tactics now, and then I'll show you some in-game clips of why it works so well. We'll go through each player's role. I'll put the tactics here so you can just come back to the start of the video. You can see it's pretty basic. You're probably thinking about why both the wingers on winger and not one of them inside forward or both. Why are both the central midfielders on deep line playmaker build up, not one of them holding or using box to box? And I'll show you exactly why. Right. First, so if we look at our winger on that side, and then we've got our other winger down here occupying fullbacks, that stops the back line being short and compact in front of the goal. The fullbacks are having to think about the wingers. If there was inside forwards, then our inside forwards would be here and here, which means that back line would be compact. Now, another thing is if you can create an overload in this area, usually 3 players, because it's a 3v2, but just in this instance it's a 4. But what this is doing, it's creating a weak side over here, a 1v1 with a winger, which is what you want. Another important part, how the deep line playmakers on build-up come this far up the pitch, does 2 things, as you'll see in a minute. First of all, it enables you to recycle possession like this, and then you could be looking for entry points into your strikers in these areas. But we'll play this and you can watch how it develops. You see that? He got the ball and he pinged it straight in there. A couple of little skill moves. We've got a goal. Right, this one, again, you can see I'm running wide with the ball. I'm always prioritising wing play because you stretch the pitch, your opponent's back line will have to stretch. That leaves space. You can see Rafinha starting to run wide. There. Right. Dembele will always pick up the ball in this corridor here. He's on shadow striker. He'll always operate in between the midfield and defence. It's important to have the striker on advance forward, not false 9, because then he would also drop back. If the striker was on false 9, he would drop back into this area, which means it'd be difficult. I'd have to break past 2 lines. I'd have to break past this line and this line, which is difficult. So with Dembele picking the ball up in that place, that position, and you've got Osimhen pinning the central defenders, it's just creating gaps and space everywhere. Keep an eye on the wingers. Right, look at the gaps now between his defenders. Look at the size of them gaps. Like there, there, and there. That is some big gaps between that defence. Now, as soon as he brought his centre back across, then it's game over. In this clip, Dembele is operating between the lines again, and you've got the striker pinning the centre backs. That creates space for like a shadow striker. And what my opponent's mistake is here, he's pushed his fullback in to deal with Dembele. Now look at the space that has created for my winger to run into. Now, because he tucked his fullback in, he's now having to bring his centre back across to cover the winger. Now look at the space what opens up. Here. Now this is why it's important to have deep lying playmaker build up, because they will push high, they'll stop counter attacks, and they'll also support build up, sustained build up. Little through ball and a low driven. In real football, there's one of the meta at the minute is a 3-2-5 build up. You see it with a lot of the top teams, a lot of the elite teams, and that's having your 3 and your 2 in your build up. And what this does, it protects against counter attacks. It's a stable structure, and then what tends to happen is you'll have a line of 5 across the front line, some like that, somewhere, with them all pulling in and out of those little pockets and swapping positions, dragging players out of position. But that's the general gist of it. If you've got a 3v2 behind the ball when you're attacking, you're pretty safe. Look again at how wide these are. And again, the spaces that are opening up between the defenders. It's very simple stuff. It's just manipulating space and manipulating defenders. That's all it is. Well, what are we doing now? We're going through a lot of real football principles. Rest defence, positional rotations, structured build-ups, pressing patterns, triggers, player profiles, all these sorts of things. Some you may be aware of, some you may not be, but I'll explain it all in simple terms and how you can apply it to FIFA, FC, to play at a high level. But that's enough for this one, and thanks for watching. If you've got any suggestions, leave it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.